Hello, 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 everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Today is Wednesday, April the 9th, 2025. I'm Catherine Melleron, and this is Make It Make Sense. So, first thing I want to say, I've got my shirt on. This shirt that I wore, this is a shirt I wore to the protests that I went to in DC. Nobody really got to see it though because it was cold and we were very underprepared, unprepared for the weather there. And it was way colder than we thought it was going to be. But anyway, I had a jacket, so it was zipped up and because we were freezing. But anyway, it says if tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. So I just want to start off by saying that there is going to be another nationwide protest on April the 19th. That's a Saturday. And so it's being sponsored by 5051. So I'm sure you can go to their website to find out where it's going to be in your area. I know the last one 5051 did. Mine was at our state capitol. The last one, the hands off protest, they did have one in Louisville. I'm about 30 miles outside of Louisville. I didn't end up going to that one. I sat that one out, but I am going to go to the next one. So um, I will see if I can link the 5051 website in the description of this video so that everyone can go that wishes to go. So, we've had a lot happen this week, and it's been all over everywhere, of course, about the terrible, terrible tariffs that that Orange Oompa Loompa decided to put into place, and tariffing all the countries on his liberation day, liberating us from our money is what he's doing. I checked my 401k yesterday. I'd lost $5,000. Of course, the markets went back up today because now he is backtracking and he's putting a 90-day pause on the tariffs, but only the retaliatory increases. He's still leaving a 10% tariffs on all the countries, and he's still going back and forth with China, which he has now decided to increase theirs to 125%. So we are in no way out of the woods. Yeah, the stock market might be improving, but this is still a very bad thing that's going to affect each and every one of us. And it is definitely going to affect our pocketbooks because I don't think people realize how much we get from China. And we get it from China because it's cheap. And um, with these tariffs, if they stay in place, then of course the price of everything is going to skyrocket. And it amazes me how much grifting there is and how many lies that every person surrounds him tells. That's what it really bothers me. But what can you do? He's got all of his little minions out there that speak on his behalf, and they all go on state-run media, Fox News, and they lie. And they try to make everything sound like it's so good. They don't want to explain what tariffs really do, and the the MAGA people just lap it all up. And that also amazes me because I was talking to my brother um, last week, and um, he has a friend named Frank. And Frank, I know Frank because he's from Pittsburgh, and my brother's friends with his son. That's how he met Frank. And we're all big Steelers fans. So a lot of times we gather at my brother's to watch the Steelers. So I've known Frank for quite a while. And Frank's a very intelligent man. And he is a Trump supporter. And my brother was telling me how he was having a talk with Frank, and he was trying to make Frank understand about Donald Trump's ties with Russia. And this information's not secret. It's not something that you can't just look up and find out for yourself. It's really not. And he's had ties with Russia since the 80s, and Russia invested a lot of money into his real estate deals and everything like that. He's in with Russia for a lot of money, but anyway, he has ties with Russia. So my brother's trying to explain to Frank about his ties with Russia, and he refused to believe it. And he just kept saying, where'd you get that information from?" And my brother was like, "Because I've kind of followed Donald Trump since the 80s, and there's just things that I've picked up along the way. So it's came from a lot of different sources, but yeah, he does have ties to Russia." And my brother was really disappointed in the fact that he was refusing to believe any truth, you know. And so, like, for example, today, like, the Donald Trump signs this executive order to have the Department of Justice investigate this man. I don't remember his name at the moment, but he wrote a book. He worked in the Trump administration during his first term, and he wrote a book. And of course, Donald Trump doesn't like what he wrote about him, so now he wants to have him investigated and saying that this is treason, and it's ridiculous. Anybody that comes against him, that's what he does. And then his followers, they don't want you to say anything negative. Even you can be telling the truth, and most of the time you are, because there's a lot of negative you can say about Donald Trump. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it. And I have a very good friend. We've been friends for about 11 years now. We met at work at my previous job, and I've been on this job for 10 years. So it's been at least 11, 12 years we've known each other, okay? And it's never been a secret that she's a Trump supporter. And I used to see her all the time because I lived over close to where she lives in New Albany, Indiana. And I lived over there for 10 years. And the place we met at, where we worked at, was also in Indiana. But I don't live over there anymore, and I live pretty far from there now. I still go to New Albany quite a bit because that's where my daughter is and my granddaughter. But this friend of mine, I don't see her very often. I haven't seen her in a long time. And but we still talk occasionally. And so she's a good person. She really is. She's got a good heart and very caring person. But she's a Trump supporter. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I can try to educate her a little bit. But yeah, it didn't work. And she made a post on Facebook, and she was saying um, something about the tariffs, and then being like they were a good thing, and it'd be nice to have manufacturing brought back to America, blah blah blah. And so I commented and I said, that's not how tariffs work. You can't just bring manufacturing back. That takes years, because you have to fund it, you have to build the plant, you have to hire the employees, you have to get the equipment, blah blah blah. And she was like, but the other thing she was arguing is that we should be self-sufficient. We shouldn't be depending on other countries. And I said, that's not possible. I was trying to explain to her, this isn't possible to do because we do not have the resources to build everything that we need in this country. We just can't. Plus, what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of reasons we don't build certain things here is because it's cheaper to get it from other countries. So why wouldn't you just get it from the other country? And I don't understand this whole thing with that we have to be out here all by ourselves and we can't have relationships with any other countries. That doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, of course, we all want to have job growth, and we all want to see manufacturing, if that's the kind of jobs people want, manufacturing jobs coming to America. That's great. But as far as like anything that is made here, it's assembled here, and most of the parts come from other countries. And then, like, you can use coffee for an example. Okay, so there's now a tariff on Colombia, and we can't grow coffee here. We can't. We don't have the climate for it. So if you want coffee, it's going to come from somewhere else. And that's my point. That's the point I was trying to make to her. And she kept coming back with different arguments. And I just was like, you know what? I'm, I'm not even going to try to convince you. I'm just not. And then she made another post because there was like 1 second where there was this rumor that went out yesterday about that Trump was going to pause the tariffs. Well, before he actually did it today. Okay, so then the market went up for like 5 seconds and then went right back down. And so she posted something about that. And I was like, well, it's just going to have to be a wait and see. And she said, it's going to take time to fix what Biden has done in a month. And I said, and I get so tired of hearing that because we had a good economy under Biden. He actually brought us back from the terrible economy we had. Yeah, we cannot blame Trump for the economy we had in his first term because our economy crashed because of COVID and everything shut down. And so that wasn't his fault, but it was because of COVID. But Biden brought us out of that. I mean, he did. And I'm not saying Biden did everything right, but we had a strong economy. It's like, what is he? What do you mean fix what Biden? What are you fixing? All he's doing is breaking everything. So I said we had a very strong economy under Biden and massive job growth as well. Was he perfect? No, but our economy was doing fine under Biden. With that said, it is encouraging to see stocks up today. Yes, it is. At this point, it is a wait and see. As always, I will be paying close attention as this is not a partisan issue. It affects all Americans regardless of who they voted for. And then let's see if I can see the replies here. Yeah, I can. She said it might have been strong for you, but it wasn't for me. I struggled and had to get a second job. And then there's other people that were talking in here. And then I said, I'm talking. No, let's see, what else did I say? I said something about you may have been struggling, but that could have been for different reasons other than really the president has nothing, whoever is the president usually has nothing to do with why you're struggling. If you have more bills than you can pay, or you, whatever the case may be, because I know where she works because she works at the same place that I used to work, and I left there because they didn't pay enough money. So I know she doesn't, I know she makes more now because she's been there for so long, but they didn't pay enough money. When I was working there, I did struggle and I couldn't afford to pay my bills. I had to work 2 jobs to pay my bills. So I really got tired of working 2 jobs. So I decided I needed to move on to something that would pay me what I needed to pay my bills, and the company I've been with now, I've been with for 10 years, but I still wish I would like to make more money. Their pay is okay, but it's still not great, but it's definitely better than what I was making at that company. So I can understand why she was struggling because I know the place that she works at. So and so anyway, I said something about I'm talking about facts. If you do your research, you will see that we had a good economy during his administration. And I was just basically trying to say, just because you were struggling doesn't mean that Biden caused that. That was kind of my point. And then she said I wasn't the only one struggling under Biden. I didn't reelect Trump by myself. Rent went drastically up, groceries, gas, utilities, just about everything. And yet he did absolutely nothing, blah, blah, blah. So she was like arguing back with me or whatever. And then I got frustrated because with these people, that's what kills me. She is an intelligent person too. She's not stupid. And I know that a lot of the MAGA people, we kind of have a stereotype of them. Like, for example, when Tom Hanks did his skit on Saturday Night Live, I don't know if y'all saw it. It was hilarious. But it's backwoods country bumpkins who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and they're just kind of dumb. Okay. And of course, Donald Trump did say that he uh, really likes the uneducated. And the reason why is because they'll believe anything he says. But I still say, and I've been saying it, Google is free, y'all. Do your research. I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. So, can somebody make it make sense? How these people lap up all of these lies, and they're blatant lies. Caroline Levitt is the biggest liar. I think she might be a worse liar than Donald Trump. I will watch her when she does a press briefing. I watch them purposely just to see what the hell she's talking about, because I know she's talking some bull mess. And I'm like, oh my God, you are just another sycophant. You're just repeating talking points that you were given, and lies, lies, lies. It's all lies. And they just lap it up and believe it. So my last thing I wrote to her, because she probably wrote some other stuff, but I just stopped responding. I said, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. So I said, since this fool has been in office, he has disappeared innocent people off the street and sent them to a death camp, crashed the economy, fired thousands of veterans and federal workers, goes off to play golf every chance he gets on the taxpayer's dime. Talk about waste. He is a waste. He is deranged, a Russian asset, Putin's little puppet, which is why Russia and North Korea were the only two countries not on the tariff list. He is by far the absolute worst president in modern history. I hope and pray every day that he will be removed from office. He also bombed innocent civilians in Yemen and is a fucktard, and his fucktard cabinet members discussed war plans on a fucking Signal chat. Every single thing he has done has been destructive, and not one good thing has been done for the American people. You really need to wake the fuck up. And yes, that's what I said. I said what I said, and that was my mic drop. But yeah, MAGA, you need to wake up. Just wake up and stop watching. And there was another guy on here that commented and said, um, stop watching Fox News, and he put like exclamation points on it, and it's like, they are state-run media. That's all they are. It's propaganda. It's the same thing that Russia does. He copies their playbook, and they do the same thing. And they did it in our elections. They did it in 2016. They did it in 2020. They did it in this election. Just spreading a bunch of propaganda. They send in a bunch of bots on to come in and comment on your stuff on TikTok and everything, and it's all propaganda, and it's all to that. Now the bots are to make it look like that there's so many more of them, of MAGA, than there really is, because as we saw from this last protest, and that's, there's a lot more of us than there are of them, and we know that. We already know that. And let's see, what is it? Oh, her sister chimed in. Probably the only reason where Russia and North Korea isn't on the tariff list is because they have nothing much to tariff. Okay, but he tariffed uh, he tariffed an island with penguins on it that's uninhabited by humans. See, this is what I'm talking about. They make excuses. They say these things, and they that's what kills me. That's why I had to just stop. I was like, you know what? I give up. I'm not going to keep trying to convince any of these people or educate them. That's what I'm trying to do, is educate them. But they've drank, and I even at one point during this exchange, I did say, you drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, you're in the cult, and there's not anything I can do. Like, I just can't. I can't do anything. I can't take the blinders off your eyes. I just can't do it, because you're not going to see it for what it really is. And I just don't understand it. Every president that's been in office, whether I voted for them or not, I'm always willing to point out things that I don't like that they did or that they said. I will do it in a minute. I've never been so blinded by any president that everything they do is okay and everything they do is right and defending everything they do. I don't understand this cult. It's exactly what it is. It is a cult. These people have been brainwashed. And Maga, you need to wake up. Okay? And when I talked about bombing civilians in Yemen, can we talk about that? These people were having a meeting, like a little town meeting, and they got bombed by us. So, yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of very bad things going on, especially with the people being disappeared and taken to El Salvador, to this concentration camp is really all it is. It's a concentration camp, and being tortured. And they've gotten a list of the people who were sent, and they said that 75% of them had no criminal records. So you're being lied to. You're being lied to every day. Lies. And you believe it, and you lap it up, and you act like it's all okay. And you don't care about these people that are being taken to this concentration camp and tortured, that are completely innocent. And whether they're innocent or not, even if they do have a criminal record, none of these people had any due process. They were just disappeared from wherever they were and flown off to El Salvador. And you act like that's okay. That is not okay. Nothing he is doing is okay. Nothing. I have nothing good to say. I'll say one thing. And it's still, I have my issues with it because of environmental reasons, but I did see yesterday where he is reopening and building some coal mines, and he's going to put a lot of coal miners back to work. Now, I wasn't necessarily mad about that. I was glad for the coal miners. Okay? So I will say that. But other than that, that man has done nothing good for us. Nothing good. Nothing good since he's been in office. I don't care what you say. But you're just believing a bunch of lies. You listen to his sycophants. You listen to his little lapdogs, his little puppets that just take talking points he gives them. He even said that. He said, "Oh, I told all of my staff that if they're going to talk about coal, they have to say clean coal." Because he knows what this is going to do to the environment. And we know that coal mining is very detrimental to our environment and in many, many ways. I'm not an environmental expert, but I do know that it is bad for the environment. And he calls the Green New Deal the Green New Scam. And, he doesn't want to acknowledge that climate change is real and that the earth is, the core of the earth is increasing in temperature probably by the day. I don't know. I don't want to sound like him because he always says probably. He always makes up these numbers. Every time he puts out numbers, he'll go billions and billions, and then he'll go trillions or probably trillions or probably, because he's lying. And he don't know what he's talking about. And he lies every day, all day, every day. Lies. Okay? So get it. Wake up. Because he lies about everything. Caroline Leavitt lies about everything. Fox News lies about everything. Because they're just lying. And every once in a while, they were acting like they discovered this article that was put in the New York Post, and it was about this man who has a toy business for special needs children, and how he explained how he had to pay the tariffs, and he might have to close his business. And they were like, "Oh, did you all know that the company and the consumer has to pay?" A tariff is a tax on the consumer. And they acted like that was their first time hearing that. Like they didn't know that. Come on. Okay? So the prices of everything is getting ready to skyrocket, y'all. Thanks. Thanks, Maga. We appreciate it. And I'm just going to end this video by saying, are we tired of all the winning yet? Are we tired of all the winning yet? Because, it's just been so much winning. $5,000 gone from a 401k. Yep, we're all winning. The price of everything is going to skyrocket. It's not going down, it's going up. Everything's going up. Just watch, just wait. And I just don't know what it's going to take for you all to wake up. Everybody have a good day. Oh, please remember to like and subscribe. Like, subscribe. It is free. Okay? If you could just do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe. And if you want to comment, I would love your feedback.